It didn't take long for my life to change from good enough to actually good, but it did take a lot of lessons along the way. So when my friend told me that he wanted to change his life, I realized that I might be able to help. So I wrote down exactly what I told him, and there's one big lesson here that I really wish I knew sooner. This is how to change your life. So let's just start with the first real problem. You don't know what you want yet, and I can prove that to you. I was reading about these experiments where they would take a random person and put them in a waiting room that was filled with actors. And as they were all sitting there, a bell would ring and all of the actors would just stand up without saying anything. Then a few seconds later, the bell would ring again and all of the actors would sit down. That kept going on over and over again. But do you want to know what's crazy? The one real person that they put in those rooms pretty much always joined in. And it gets crazier. One by one, the actors left the room and they were replaced by more real people until there were no actors left at all. And it was just a full waiting room of normal people who didn't know that they were being messed with. And the bell would ring and they'd stand, and it would ring again and they'd sit down over and over and over again. Now, before you laugh and start calling them sheep, be really honest with yourself. Do you think you'd be any different? We all do so many little things each day without even thinking about them. Like, have you ever closed an app on your phone and then immediately opened it right away just out of pure habit? Imagine that happening at the scale of your entire life. We accept things as truth because that's just the way they are, but we never really question why. It's like running a marathon, but you don't really know where the finish line is, and so you're just running around the same block as everybody else, wondering why you're not making any progress. And it's obvious when you look at it like that. If you don't have a clear idea of what you want out of life, that's basically what you're doing right now. So how do you fix that? Ignore the fucking bell. You probably grew up in a world where the expectation was that you go to school, you get good grades, you go to university, get a steady job, and then you stick with that until you're just old enough that you can squeeze in maybe 10, 15 years of doing what you actually want. But if the whole goal is doing what you want, why do we put that off until we have gray hair and back pain? I want you to start imagining what you want your life to look like. Not what other people would approve of or what looks best on social media. What would you do every day if there was nobody else in the world to see? How would you spend your time if money didn't matter? And be way more specific with it than you think you need to be. Like, if tomorrow was a perfect day, where would you want to wake up? Who would you want to be with? What would you have planned for the day? I think it's only when you start giving yourself those little sneak peeks of a life that you could have that you realize the path you're on right now probably isn't taking you in that direction. So the first real unlock for me to change my life was to just start questioning what I really wanted and asking if the things I did were bringing me any closer or further from that point. Start with where you want to be and work backwards. Ignore the fucking bell. But once you get to that point and you realize how many things you want to do with your life, it creates a whole new problem. Where do you even start? When I was talking about all this stuff with my friend, I think he had a pretty clear idea of what he wanted in life. And usually it's the same sort of thing for most of us. Be healthy, be happy, spend time doing stuff you love with people that you love. Great, that's what you want. And you can iron out all the details later, but what comes next? If you're watching this video, I'm guessing you're pretty far away from that life. It almost feels like you're just standing at the base of a mountain and then you look up and you realize that you still have to climb it. But I like that analogy because here's the thing. Most people see how far they are from the top of that mountain and they decide that it's not even worth starting the climb. I had a friend who really cared about politics and he would spend hours every single day reading the news and just getting angry about the world. Then one day we were hanging out and he was getting all mad about another political thing and he went to grab something from his room. But when he opened the door, his room was a mess. And I'm not telling this story to rat on my friend here. I'm saying it because there's a real lesson in that. We like to think of these big ideas and imagine a perfect world where we just lock in one day and all of our problems are solved and everything's the way that we want it to be. But that's not how it works. If you want to do anything in life, you have to clean your room first. And what I mean by that is you have to focus your energy on controlling the things that you can control. Because if you're waiting for the perfect moment to start, all that is you casting your expectations on the world that things should be different than they are. And that's bullshit. Things don't have to be any different than they are. If you want something to change, you have to be different than you are. So how do you do that? Well, if you want to start making YouTube videos, you're not going to have Mr. Beast production crew and $1 million set handed to you. But can you pull out a camera and just record yourself for 30 seconds? If you want to learn French, the best way is to hop on a plane to Paris and spend a few months there eating baguettes and talking to locals. But good luck making that happen. So can you learn one new word today instead? My whole point here is that you have to start small and let each of those tiny actions add up. And I know that's the last thing you want to hear because I'm just like you. I hate starting small. I just want to lock in and do stuff perfectly the first time and jump straight to the top of the mountain. But there's an old saying that really hits home here. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So don't complain about the world and cast your expectations about the way things should be. Look at the way things are and then control what you can control. Clean your room first. Now, before I get to that big lesson that I mentioned at the start, there's one big step that every single person gets stuck on, including me. And it happens when you've already figured out what direction you want to go and you have some idea of what you have to do to make it happen, but for some reason, you just can't bring yourself to do it. And that's where I'm gonna drop the stories and analogies and fancy words and just speak from the heart here, because this is a step that I've been stuck on for years. The good news is the solution is a simple one, but the bad news is it's the hardest one to really understand. You have to fundamentally change your idea of what it takes to become the person that you want to be. You can't be half in and half out. Because if you want this great, amazing life with the freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want, wherever you want, it's almost egotistical to think that you can achieve that without paying some cost up front. I said it before and I'll say it again. Easy choices, hard life. Hard choices, easy life. Quotes like that sound all motivational and exciting when you hear them in videos like this, but when you're confronted with those hard choices every day, it's not fun. It sucks. It's choosing to put your phone down in the middle of a video you really want to watch so that you can go to sleep on time and wake up with energy the next day. It's waking up that next day and choosing to get out of bed right away so that you don't end up scrolling in bed and wasting the morning away. It's having the choice of playing video games with your friends or just opening your laptop and editing a video. It's being a fucking adult. Those are the hard choices, and they're only hard because they're both good choices to pick from. You either have fun now and pay the cost later, or you pay the cost now and enjoy the benefits later. And I don't think a lot of people realize how lucky they are to even have the problems that they do, but either way, you have to pay a cost. And in my experience, I always regretted taking the easy option up front, but I've never once regretted working harder, ever. And so this is where the idea of fundamentally changing the way you look at things comes from. If you want to create a life you love where you wake up with energy and excitement every single day, you have to understand what it takes. So let me be very clear with you. It's not always fun, it's not always easy, and it takes a lot longer than you want it to take. And the whole time that you're working towards whatever your goal is, you don't even know if you're making progress or not. Alex Hormozi talks about how in the movie Rocky, the only thing standing between Rocky being a normal guy and being the best boxer in the world is a 5-minute training montage. In real life, 5 minutes gets you nowhere. That Rocky cutscene can last months, years, or decades, and the whole time, success isn't even promised to you. You could be doing all that work and putting yourself through hell and trying to build that life you want, and it feels like it could all be for nothing because you don't have any proof that it works yet. And just to be really upfront with you here, I'm still in my Rocky cutscene. I know it might sound like I have my life figured out on YouTube, and I'm honestly grateful for this life, but I'm not there yet either. This video is probably gonna take me days to make, and I don't know if it's even gonna get 100 views, let alone 100,000 or 1,000,000 or any real number that I'm aiming for. And guess what? Even if it does, I still have to show up tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that. And to be clear, this is my dream job, but it's still work. And there's no easy way to really understand how much work it takes to achieve anything great in life until you just start doing it. I started making videos on my iPod when I was 13. I'm 24 now. Nobody knew who I was a year ago, and a year from now, I'll probably be saying the same thing because there's levels to this stuff. And even though I might be on level 2 right now, I still have a really long way to go. But the thing that's different in my head now is that I know what it takes. I know it's hard, and I know that it's not always fun, but I'm willing to pay that price because they say that true hell is when the person you are meets the person that you wanted to be. And I don't want to meet that person. I want to be that person. So I'll pay the price for it. And that sets me up for the last big lesson that I've been saving for the end here. I just talked about how you have to find a goal and start small and control what you can control. And then I followed that up by saying that it's ridiculously hard and you have to put every ounce of your being into working harder and fighting through your Rocky cutscene. And I stand by all of that, even if it sounds like they contradict each other. But that's where I have one last piece of advice for you. The moment you decide to change your life and actually start doing something about it, whether you're doing the right thing or not, the moment you start acting like the person that you want to be is the moment you become that person. The results just follow later. Being is what leads to becoming, not the other way around. And so that's why this whole video has basically been me saying the same thing in a million different ways, which is that you just have to try figuring out what you want out of life, stop caring what people think, and do the things that it takes to create that life for yourself every single day until it's real. So the only real question that I want you to answer is this: are you willing to do what it takes?